There was once a father who sent his son to be taught by the greatest teacher in the world. And when the boy got there, the greatest teacher in the world said to him, "I'm going to tell you some stories." She spent the whole day telling that boy stories, and when he went home to his father that night, his face looked like this. For the whole of the rest of the week, that boy went to see the greatest teacher in the world. And for the whole of that week, she told him stories. So he was always going back to his father with a face like this. For the whole of the rest of the month, he was going back to the greatest teacher in the world who kept telling him stories. And every day he went back to his father with a face like this. Until at last, the father had a face like this. "What's going on here? All she keeps doing is telling you stories. Well, that's not what I am paying for. You tell her when you go there tomorrow, you have to be taught properly." So the next day, when the boy went to see the greatest teacher in the world, he told her what his dad had said. And he had this sort of face. So the greatest teacher realized that she obviously had to teach him a lesson. But she asked him first if he could go and get her some tea. Well, the boy knew how to make tea. I expect you know how to make tea. He went into the kitchen and, well, what's the first thing you do? Put water in the kettle if it hasn't got some already, maybe. Then you'd put the kettle on. And then while it's boiling, what else do we need? We need a mug. So he would get a mug and... Do you have tea bags or loose leaf? Yeah? And then by now the kettle had boiled. Some people I know use a teapot, but this is just one mug for one person. The boy wasn't having any himself, so he poured that hot water into the mug, taking careful not to spill any on his hand. Do you take milk or sugars? The greatest teacher in the world did. She had 2 sugars, clearly needing lots of energy for that great big brain. And not only that, she did like a teeny tiny drop of milk. And then, after stirring it all together and squeezing out the tea bag, the boy took the tea to the greatest teacher in the world, who said, "What have you brought me that for? I asked you for tea. I didn't ask you for a mug and hot water and milk and sugar. What's all this about?" Now you know and I know, and I'm pretty sure the greatest teacher in the world knew that when she'd said, "Get me some tea," she had of course meant exactly that, a mug with boiling water and tea and milk and sugar inside. The point was that that one word, tea, told an entire story. A whole process through which the boy was to bring her exactly the sustenance that she needed. This story is proof that we are surrounded by stories. Tea, that one word, is a story. Teaching is a story. And so it kind of stands to reason, doesn't it, that if you become a better storyteller, you will become a better teacher as well. And that is something that I should be able to help you with. My name is Chip. I am a storyteller with 13 years of experience, and I've represented companies that you may have heard of, like the Oxford Reading Tree, you know, the Biff, Chip and Kipper series, the National Literacy Trust here in the UK, which is one of our biggest charities for helping young children to read. Also, the Roald Dahl Story Company, I've represented them on TV. If you haven't heard of any of those, I'm sure you've heard of the European Union. I wrote the EU's guidance on using storytelling in the classroom as well. So I hope you will see me as fairly well placed to help you develop your art of storytelling. I'm going to share with you some storytelling secrets, such as the engagement keychain, the skill from which every other storytelling secret hangs. And I'll teach you some of those as well, like story anchors and even the 27 voices that you can already do. And towards the end of the week, we'll be looking at story-led learning, the practice of using your storytelling to teach absolutely any subject in the world. It really is possible, and I hope that's what you will be taking away with you after this course on the art of storytelling for early years. So it only remains for me to say cheerio, and I look forward to seeing you there. So, cheerio, and I look forward to seeing you there.